I'm mindful that I'm not after Christians. I'm after people who don't go to church. And a lot of churches are just recycling people from other churches. That's not who I'm after. I'm looking for people that smell like weed. I'm at a place, Rashawn. Really, is New Birth is the largest land-owning Black church in America.
Wow.
And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis? I'll be able to bring in Black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming.
Oh my God.
I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem. This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, Black boy in Bankhead, said, they growing weed at the church, where do I join?
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
He coming in. And that's the group that I'm going after.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. We're back. And hopefully you all remember Jamal Bryant from New Birth Missionary Baptist Church saying that ridiculous statement. It was about a month ago, give or take. And hopefully down in the chat, as you're getting settled in, just drop a 5 on it. If you remember him saying that, what I just played from the Cool Sorors podcast. Shout out to Rashawn Ali, who is the hostess, and she does some great work here in ATL. So I want to give her a shout out as a friend. But so everybody remembers that, and so I didn't take that out of order. I didn't take that out of context or anything like that. I see tons of 5s right here. It appears, by the way, that most people remember him saying that. So Jason is not making that up. Jason did not take him out of context. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you another just to make sure, to double make sure that I did not misrepresent Mr. Bryant, because he actually got on the news about this. So let's do it again. As I do this wrong.
Pastor Jamal Bryant says he's thinking about launching a cannabis business at his church.
He's pastor of New Birth Missionary Church. During a recent interview on the Cool Soror podcast, he said the purpose would be to attract new members with a focus on Black men to help the church's membership. He also explained that another goal of starting the marijuana business would be to drive entrepreneurship in the Black community. Pastor Bryant did not, however, give a time frame for the project.
All right. So clearly, I understood it as him saying he wanted to grow cannabis. You all in the chat understood it as him wanting to grow cannabis. The local news here in Atlanta understood it as him wanting to grow cannabis. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull up a podcast. Jamal Bryant was on the Erica Campbell podcast. I am not familiar with this channel. I looked for the long form of the video and I could not find the long video. Just make sure I got the whole thing in context, but it's about 6 minutes and he's going to talk about this. And I just want to ask you, are we watching a quote unquote Christian pastor try to Jedi mind trick us in this regard? Because I remember when the video came out, the Cool Soror video came out, Jason was looking high and Jason was looking low, no pun intended, to find that full clip. And I found the full clip and I was like, the whole thing is so bad, Rick. The whole thing is so bad, K-Dub. It was terrible. Puff, puff, pass. The cannabis Christian church situation is what got a lot of attention. But really, the whole video is really bad. And I encourage you, go to Cool Soror's channel. The video's still there. And just watch the whole thing and just realize like this whole interview, the minute that we're talking about right here was bad. But go back and check it out. Because I mean, they still have it up and I have a copy of it as well. How we're going to watch a pastor try to Jedi mind trick you. Like, ooh, this is not what you think it is. Literally, literally, he is going to say some things that are demonstratively untrue from this video clip that we just played. And if you need me to, I'll play it again. But he's going to demonstratively say things that he did not say in this video with Rashawn Ali from the Cool Sorors podcast. But he's going to tell Erica Campbell something totally different, totally different. So I was shocked. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me that he said, yes, Rick, the whole interview is terrible. It's horrible. And again, I'm glad that many people have called him out about that. Many people have addressed it, such to the fact that, matter of fact, he's going to say something in here that I really think he's giving a shout out to your good friend over in Studio J, Dear Woke Christian. I think he actually mentions me in this video. So I might be popular now. If you want my autograph, please check it out. But before we get too far afield, shout out to Rick Caldwell Apologetics. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for stopping by. All of you all, thank you very much for stopping by. I know this was kind of last minute. I did not intend to do a live until Sunday, but somebody put this past me and I said, I cannot believe what I'm hearing, that my new crypto indulgences are on my website. So if you go to dearwokechristian.com, you need an indulgence because somebody calls you a racist, give them this indulgence and tell them that the Black Pope has hooked you up. You're good to go for the whole year. So feel free to use that as many times as you want to. Share it with family, friends, and such like that. I don't know what happened to that. That's crazy. All right, so let's listen to this because I think Jamal Bryant is giving me a shout out. I know he's a Morehouse brother, so I don't know. Maybe he's like, give me a shout out. I don't know.
The Get Up Mornings, I'm Erica Campbell. Now I want to welcome Dr. Jamal Bryant to the Get Up Church. He's the senior pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Lithonia, Georgia. Good morning, Dr. Jamal Bryant. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderfully well. Good morning, everybody.
Oh, you can really say stuff, and people can really, you can really say stuff. So we need to clear the air and set the record straight this morning. You recently
That's a good
said
segue. Clear the
that
air.
you were.
That was funny. That was funny. We do need to clear the air. Let's clear this air. Let's go.
Griff, stop it. You recently said you were looking for people who smell like weed. What did you mean, sir?
I meant what?
Okay, so all right, so he's looking for people that smell like weed. So I want you to ask you real quick, why would somebody smell like weed? What would be the situation, the circumstances that would cause somebody to smell like weed? So it's fair to say, I think we can all agree that either the person that smells like weed or the vicinity in the area that the person came from were, shall we say, burning something. Is that fair? And not incense. Oh, the car. Oh, of course, there's a car in front of you on the highway. Absolutely. So I think it's fair to say that smoking is probably the main reason why somebody would smell like weed. I think that's fair. Not gardening, not rubbing it on their skin, not taking cannabis oil for anxiety, not taking CBD for an achy hair follicles or anything like that. I think it's fair to say that if you smell like weed, it's probably because you're burning it or using it, smoking it, or we're in the presence of it. I think that's fair to say. Watch what this man just says. Watch what he says. Watch what this dude says.
I said, and imagine, Erica, the offense of the church. I said, I want people.
Let me back this up.
Say stuff. So we need.
Watch him duck and dive the actual question. I forgot this. Watch this. Watch him duck the actual question.
We need to clear the air and set the record straight this morning. You recently
That's a
said
good segue. Clear the
that
air.
you were. Griff, stop it. You recently said you were looking for people who smell like weed. What did you mean, sir?
I meant what I said, and imagine, Erica, the offense of the church. I said, I want people that smell like weed. I never said I want to smoke with them.
Nobody said that you want to smoke with them, Jamal. We said that you're inviting people that smoke weed. That's what we said.
I never said that the church is going to be selling blunts in the Bible bookstore.
Nobody said that you would. Now, we did make fun of you and say, okay, no, fun fact, we did make fun of you on that regard, Jamal. But for real, like, come on, dude, for real. Watch this Jedi mind trick.
Right. I said, this is who it is that we're after. This is the Great Commission, to go after people who are drunk, go after people who are high. That's what I believe our responsibility is, and I cannot take it back. And I believe that that's where the call is. We are recycling.
Okay, so again, he believes that the call of God is to get people who are drunks, who are smoking weed or drug addicts and such like that. So the question is, should they stay that way? And if they're not supposed to stay that way, then why would there be the appeal to come to New Birth because New Birth grows cannabis? What would be the appeal if they ain't gonna get any? What would have been that? This is just stupid. But wait, it's actually going to get better.
Saints and
That's
not
all.
really going after sinners.
That's all.
But I really grieve, Erica, for the church, because this last week has shown me how judgmental and how narrow-minded the church is, that we can't even welcome people who smell like it.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think, because I told y'all the story, we have people that come to Smyrna Presbyterian that have that probably came from Jamal's mindset. I'm sorry, because we're actually closer to Bankhead than Jamal is. So we've had people come to Smyrna Presbyterian that be smoking weed. It's not uncommon. Come on, bro. So nobody said we don't welcome them, because he's making the argument that you're not trying to invite and be gracious to somebody who has an addiction, or somebody who's drunk, or somebody who has a problem. Nobody said that. Roll back the tape and show me where I said that, or anybody. I mean, I watch secular people, Christians, non-Christians, black people, white people, men, women. I watch them all. I watch entirely too many. By the way, there is a Jamal Bryant playlist on my channel. Go figure. And I didn't hear anybody say, don't welcome people into your church that smoke weed. I didn't hear anybody say that. So where are you getting this from, Mr. Jedi Mind Trick Man? And mind you, we're only 45 seconds into this. There's actually 4 more minutes of this clownery coming from the good Morehouse man class of, I think he's 93. Let's go.
Because this last week has shown me how judgmental and how narrow-minded the church is, that we can't even welcome people who smell like it. I wanted to lend, I want to lend some clarity to the.
And very last thing. Oh, by the way, this music is part of Erica's show. Somebody said that the music might be a little bit distracting when I play a little music in the background. That's not me. That's Erica's show. But beside the point, he's trying to make himself the victim. How are you making yourself the victim, sir? This is ridiculous. But wait, it's actually going to get better.
About it, because people think they know you and they don't. Erica, my uncle was Frank Lucas, the biggest black drug dealer in America.
Can somebody check back on that? Because I know we found out that Jamal Bryant has some relationship with Geno Jennings. Can somebody run back the tape and tell me if Frank Lucas is really related to Jamal Bryant? This is my first time hearing this. And I've heard him on several different occasions speak, and I've never heard that. Now, mind you, we went to Morehouse together. So I'm pretty sure I would have heard that Jamal Bryant or Frank Lucas's nephew goes to Morehouse. I really believe I would have heard that story. I just don't believe I heard that. But please, if somebody runs back the tape, dearwokec@gmail.com, let me know, because I've never heard that one before. But I continue. Let us go.
It's so big that they made a movie about him, American Gangster. So why in the world would I then perpetuate that same vice, that same sickness, and that same undercurrent that has damaged so many lives?
I don't know, Mr. Bryant. Why would you? You literally said it. Let's run back the tape, Jason. We literally just listened to you say it. So what do you want us to do with that? And mind you, during the Cool Soror podcast, he didn't mention anything about his uncle, cousin, nephew, third, whatever, twice removed, being Frank Lucas. This story sounded real suspect. That Jedi mind trick. Ooh. By the way, if you don't mind, hit the like button. And please, if you don't mind, give me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. And let's go. Yes, the woman put a spell. That woman put a spell on me. Yeah, I mean, such that he forgot his family. Absolutely. Let's go.
Right.
Jesus said, I came that you might have life. And so please, saints of the Most High God.
This rascal, and now he's making jokes. Now he's making jokes about Most High. That's what I'm saying. April called it out. Rick called it out. Countless other people called it out. This is not a Christian pastor. I'm sorry. Jamal, I'm right here in Marietta, Cobb County. If you got a question, problem, or concern with what I said, I'll be at the alumni meeting this January. Sir, that's not Christian behavior. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Know that I am not trying to get people high. I am
Right.
trying to elevate people to a whole nother level. Secondly,
Absolutely.
Erica, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Okay, so you already got that squared up. Now he's saying that basically he wasn't trying to get anybody high. Then why would the young boy from Bankhead want to come all the way over to Lithonia, which is about 35 miles away? He's going to pass 100 churches before he gets there. Why would they come all the way to Lithonia from Bankhead? Mr. Bryant, come, I'm all ears. What would it have been? If we misunderstood you and misrepresented what you said, what would be the reason for somebody to travel that far just to go to church? And they don't go to church now, apparently, because they could have went to their church that they currently go to. But remember, the young black boys, they're going to come over and learn entrepreneurship. That's what you said. But wait, it's actually going to get gooder. Is that a word? It's not.
People said, oh, why are you growing weed when there's so much other stuff? Let's pause right here. The Bible says people die from a lack of knowledge.
This rascal is quoting scripture. I'm going to actually not address the Bible misrepresentations. I am going to tag, let me see. I'm going to tag Rick Caldwell Apologetics. I want Rick Caldwell to answer all the biblical errors that are in this video. So I'm going to tag him. Let's see if he does it. Rick Caldwell, when you do, let me know, and I will definitely tag everybody to watch your video to call out Jamal Bryant on his biblical errors, because he just said, my people died for lack of knowledge. Is that in context, Rick? I don't know. Hey. All right, let's go.
I have an urban garden on our campus. So Shirley Caesar could be my co-pastor. I'm selling greens, beans, tomatoes, you name it.
You name it.
Erica, we have fed 1 million.
Okay, so he claims that they have a urban garden on New Birth's campus, which I hope they do. That's great. But please understand, go back to and I'm going to play the cool sorors again. He didn't say, I already have this going and we're growing it and selling it to the community at a discount or providing a food pantry. He didn't say that. He said, why are we not growing cannabis? So again, he's trying to Jedi mind trick y'all and make you believe an error and just outright lie. I'm sorry. In my opinion, he is not being honest at all. Because if in fact they were growing an urban garden and that's what he was trying to do, and let's just say he was like trying to supplement the urban garden, trying to do like some rotational crop growing. And, you know, we grew beans over here. We're going to grow cannabis now to augment the soil. Okay. But he didn't mention that. He did not mention an urban garden when he did the Cool Sorors podcast. And again, I'm going to leave the whole link for that video as well as this video in the description below. Please check it out. He didn't do that. So again, he is not being honest. Again, I should have been keeping score on this at this point because he's just saying things now.
People in the pandemic, 1 million people in the pandemic. And a few weeks ago.
Now, again, I got beef with what he's saying. And again, my name is Jason Terrence Whitaker, class of 99. Mr. Bryant, if you got any question, concern, or comment, I live in Cobb County, we can get together and talk about this. But sir, you didn't mention that even on the Cool Sorors podcast. Did you forget that you had just served 1 million people during the pandemic? You didn't have a problem going to Grady Hospital, stunting and fronting outside of the hospital. But you could forget. Oh yeah, maybe you was mesmerized again. You forgot about Frank Lucas being your uncle. You forgot about the 1 million people that you served and fed. You forgot about the garden, sir. I'm getting a feeling, sir, that either A, you going through some onset of dementia, or B, you're not being honest. I'm just saying, because you seem to forget all these key matters, but you sure didn't have a problem bringing up weed. I'm just saying. And like K-Dub said right here, shout out to K-Dub right there. He didn't mention greens, beans, tomatoes, potato. He didn't say anything like that. He did not mention that during the Cool Sorors podcast. That would have been key. Because on the question that Rashawn asked is, how can we be better for our communities? And she's like, you think differently. What can you do to help our communities? And the first thing out of his pie hole was I could sell weed. Y'all, here we go. Let's finish this.
I went viral because after the killing of Takeoff, I made a call for men, and men flooded our altar. We didn't use any gimmicks, any schemes, or any plots of cannabis to get black.
Why is he acting like he's not the one that just said he can get black boys to church selling cannabis? Why is he acting like he's not the one? Like this should be the tale of two Jamals. Like I should have put one Jamal against the other Jamal. Like, you're arguing against yourself, sir. You said you would not need a pamphlet to get the black boys from Bankhead because you're selling weed at the church. I'm sorry, growing cannabis at the church. I'm sorry. He really thinks y'all are a bunch of fools. He is taking y'all out to be a bunch
Men into the
of
church.
fools.
They're coming because they're seeing our service and seeing our work.
But they ain't
Lastly,
getting Christ. They're not getting Christ, sir. Your work and your service, that can be done by the NOI. That can be done by the Hebrew Israelites. That can be done by Jehovah's Witness. That can be done by the Satanic Temple. Works and service can be done by anybody. Anybody can grow food on their property and give it to the community. Anybody can. Bill Gates can do more than you can, sir. And he's about as much saved as I am 9 feet tall. Jamal, please stop. Please stop. Because I'm going to play this again. And by the way,
because people die from a lack of knowledge, I have a news flash. Because people don't believe in Bible and Google when both are available.
here it comes. This is a shout out to Jay Witt. I believe this is a shout out to your boy. If you want my autograph or whatever like that, because Jamal Bryant, I promise you, he's shouting me out right here. Here it comes. Watch.
Y'all ain't gonna believe it, Griff. Cannabis is illegal in Georgia.
Your nephew said that. Everybody remembers. I'll post the short as well. You cannot, and I did the Google search where you cannot grow weed in Georgia. And watch this though. You cannot grow it for medicinal purposes either. I'm looking for people that smell like weeds. No, really. New Birth is the largest land-owning black church in America. Wow. And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis? I'll be able to bring in black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming.
Oh my God.
I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem. This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, black boy in Bankhead said, they growing weed at the church, where do I join?
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him. So I don't know if he didn't watch the full short. I don't know if his attention span was not long enough or what. It's only 48 seconds. Watch the whole thing, bro. But he didn't watch the whole thing because you can't grow it for medicinal purposes either. Well, Jason, why are you talking about medicinal purposes? Watch what he says next.
So I can't even grow it, even if
you
I
wanted
said it.
to.
I'm not in California.
Even if you
with
decided to.
Even if I decided to, it is illegal in the state of Georgia.
Why did you say it then, sir? It's the tale of two Jamals. He actually is acting like he didn't say this. I'm gonna play it again because I really think that somebody in here, Susie Q and Caldwell and K-Dub, y'all don't believe me that he actually said that. So I'm gonna play that part again because I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. We just watched it. Are you trying to tell us that you didn't say that you would grow weed? Go to your deacons and say, why are we not growing cannabis? But your boy did do that Google search. Remember that. You can't, oh, wait. And this is something cute. Somebody said, and ship to Colorado. You can't do that either. You can't grow it in Georgia, period. And you can't ship it to a place that can do it. They have to grow it in that state. So he can't even do what he's talking about. Wait up. He's actually going to say something that is so demonstrably untrue that I think some of y'all are going to get upset. So just don't have any drink in your hand. Definitely don't have anything sharp in your hands. And please do not be operating any motorized vehicles, because here it comes. Watch.
With that interview with Cool Soror was me dreaming a lot. What am I going to do with all of this land? Mm-hmm. What am I going to do with all of this space? I'm trying to build a solar farm.
A solar pond. Did he mention the solar pond on there? If you remember him mentioning solar pond in the Cool Soror video, please let me know. Because I'm sorry. I don't remember solar ponds getting any kind of love at all. Let's go.
So that we can lower our ecological footprint. Yes. I'm trying, Erica and Griff, to build the first of its kind in America.
Watch this.
Senior housing is the drum roll for seniors who have custody of their grandchildren. We are opening in the next one.
Let me give a little shout out real quick, because I personally think that's really a dope idea. Some kind of live, work, play where older grandparents that are raising their grandchildren can live in a senior living place that is also kid friendly. That's a dope idea. I'm gonna give him credit for that. Now, I don't know where he is in that process, but I'm gonna tell him right now. But what he has said so far has caused me to not be supportive of that idea because I don't think he's being honest. But watch this.
120 days, a health clinic that will be a holistic health clinic. And so what I actually said is that I don't want the senior.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. He just said, I actually said. That means he said it during the Cool Soror podcast. Okay. If I say I actually said, that means I said it during the Cool Soror podcast. If I think we all agree. Watch what he's about to say.
In my church on opioids that don't really heal them, but maintain the sickness. Mm-hmm. Let's look at growing hemp that grows for medicinal purposes that people can use as a salve, and here's for the saints, or that you can use as an oil.
Now, did he say anything that rhymed with healing, medicinal, hemp, or oil during that podcast? I'm about to play it again because I think he thinks we're just a whole bunch of whole fools. Now, I might go to Whole Food tonight to feed my family, but I'm not a whole fool to believe this dumb thing that he's about to say. Watch this.
For areas of arthritis, that will give you that level of healing. But Erica, if I sent to you, Griff, offline, I have received over 500 direct messages from saints saying, I've forsaken God. I've walked away from the gospel. But Erica,
remember in the podcast, he said, and please, I'm encouraging you, if you did not hear the entire Cool Sorors podcast, shout out to Rashawn, go back and watch that. He literally says that there's a different gospel for seniors and a different gospel for young adults. There's a different gospel for young single professionals and for high school students. He said that. So I'm sorry, sir. You did walk away from the gospel because you said that there is another gospel for my 15-year-old as there is for Violet from Berean Babes. Shout out to Berean Babes. So apparently there's a different gospel then for my mom and then for my 12-year-old. There's a different gospel. He said that. That's not me. That's not Rick. That's not Kiana. That's not K-Dub. That's not anybody else. That was him out of his own mouth said that. He thinks we're a bunch of fools. He really does. And I'm sorry. I suspect that Erica Campbell did no research on this. No fault to her. I'm not faulting her. She's got to interview these people. And the big huggabaloo was about him saying he wanted to grow weed or grow cannabis. So maybe she didn't take the time to listen to the whole podcast, whatever like that. I'm not mad at her. I'm saying that Jamal Bryant is being disingenuous and really just being outright dishonest. He's trying to reimagine history and thinks that you are not going to know this. But I'm going to continue.
Flip side of it is I've got another 500 direct messages from people who don't go to church. A young man texts me and says, man, nobody in church has ever spoken to me. They only preach at me. Ooh. Another young man says, I stopped coming to church because I felt so vilified and never felt loved. And I believe that the church really, you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
All right. So that was that. I have no idea because you get affirmation, because Jamal Bryant got affirmation from some randoms that were hitting them up on text message or DMs, whatever like that. That's what verified. I'm sorry, sir. You're going to be on the wrong side of Christ. You might be on the right side of culture and such like that, but you're going to be on the wrong side of Christ. And that's going to be far worse than anything else. But watch this. I want to play this video again. And I want you to look for community gardens, medicinal, oils, salve. Listen for those. Any of those things like that. Because remember, he said, this is what I actually said. Here we go.
That I'm not after Christians. I'm after people who don't go to church. And a lot of churches are just recycling people from other churches. That's not who I'm after. I'm looking for people that smell like weed. I'm at a place, Rashawn. New Birth is the largest land-owning Black church in America.
Wouldn't that have been a great time right there to say, oh yeah, by the way, we already have a community farm. We're trying to build a senior living facility on the property. What was that? Solar ponds. Remember that? He could have said that right then. That'd have been a perfect moment to say it.
Wow. And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis?
Wait, why are we not raising cantaloupe? Why are we not raising spinach? Why are we not raising kale? No, he said cannabis. He didn't say that they already got a garden. So how would somebody know that they already got a garden and they just fed 1 million people during the pandemic, which, by the way, was only 2 years ago? It was only 2 years ago. I know it seemed like 1,000 years ago, but 2020 was only 2 years ago when this video was done. So why did he not mention it? Why did he not mention it? I wonder. Makes you go,
I'll be able to bring in black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming.
Wait. He's teaching them farming by doing what? Growing cannabis. But he's just said in the other one that he has a farm. Remember, he said Shirley Caesar could be his associate pastor, greens, beans, tomatoes, and remember that? But he didn't mention that there.
My God.
I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem. This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, black boy in Bankhead, said they growing weed at the church.
They're growing weed at the church. Here come.
I'm after people who don't go to church.
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's the ecosystem.
Sorry about that.
This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, black boy in Bankhead, said they growing weed at the church, where do I join?
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him.
See, he just said, I'm not going to need a pamphlet for him because what they're growing is going to attract the people to the church. So remember, the black boy in Bankhead, he's going to drive 35 miles one way because of what they're growing at the church.
Yeah.
Right.
He coming in. And that's the group that I'm going after.
That's the group he's going after. Talk about somebody trying to play a mind game on y'all, trying to trick y'all into believing that he is, that he didn't say that. He didn't say anything about medicinal salves, senior living, dealing with arthritis, senior living with children, none of that stuff, garden, solar panels, none of that. He was talking about cannabis, and he got mad and got upset that people was calling him out. And your guy called him out and said, bro, you can't even grow that here in Georgia, and you can't ship it anywhere. You can't just grow weed in your house and then take it over to the processing place and get some cannabis oil. Man, miss me with that dumb stuff. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I've heard some dumb things. I've said some of those dumb things. But wait. Here's the last one, because he tried to play it off like he wasn't. I just want you to watch this. I don't even know how to say it anyway.
Everybody's talking about Jamal Bryant and is saying that New Birth should take some of its vast land and use it to grow, among all crops, grow cannabis.
Giving out cabbage, not cannabis. We're giving out cabbage and not cannabis.
I'm holding out for this to be reviewed.
So he's mocking, saying that he's giving out cabbage and not cannabis. But sir, you were the one that said it. It's like he's arguing with himself. I've never seen somebody do this. All the people I've addressed, all the people I've talked about, all the people I've engaged with, I've never seen somebody literally argue against themselves and not be a lawyer. I've never seen this before.
As a joke.
I thought it was a joke too, Bishop. So for him to sit there and pretend like he did not say that is really staggering. Like, man, are you out of your mind? Because you said it. But again, I think he really wants, first of all, I have not seen, and maybe he did, I have not seen him actually address this in his church. I've seen him, or not seen him, I've heard him address it online, on podcasts and such like that, but I have not. And if you find it, please let me know. I have not heard him actually address this from his pulpit, and he uses his pulpit for anything else. So he can definitely talk about this from his pulpit. I've never heard him do it. And the reason I bring that up is because I'm wondering if he's only trying to talk to people outside of New Birth and basically people who are ignorant to what's going on at New Birth. So it's easier to talk to an Erica Campbell or Rashawn Ali or DJ Academic or whomever else, Sway. It's easier to talk to them than it is to talk to the congregation, who literally will have to be engaged and been dealing with the foolishness that he's bringing. So I'm wondering, and again, if you find that he's addressed this issue with his congregation, or you know that he's addressed this issue, send me the link. I'll gladly listen to it and do a follow-up or whatever like that. However, I think this is extremely interesting, and it says a lot about Jamal Bryant. And I just want to encourage people, don't fall for the okie doke. I really believe, yes, I love how Jonathan Smith said it. He explains everything except the gospel of Christ. That is it. That might have to be the statement of the day right there, my friend. You came in clutch with that one. He doesn't explain the gospel. He does not. What you win them with is what you're going to win them to. So he's winning them with, carnal means and methods. There's no way you're going to do the okie doke, take the joint and swap it out for Jesus. It's just not going to happen. It will not happen. And so that's very myopic thinking. That's very pragmatic thinking. And to sit there and say that the church is being judgmental, sir, you're saying things that are insane.
For me to tell 16-year-olds to be celibate is one thing. A 37-year-old who's used to getting some, I need a different kind of gospel.
Yeah.
So the church ain't telling me nothing about sex toys. They ain't saying nothing about the church telling me to be celibate, but my gynecologist is saying something got to happen down there because your stuff's shutting down.
Yeah.
So we got to have real gospel for grown-ups.
You're saying things that don't even make sense. And again, please keep in mind, in the Erica Campbell video, he said that they had a farm on the property. And again, I'm hoping that he's not lying. I'm praying that they really do have a farm that they've been able to use to feed people and do, I think that would be great. I would love to find out that they do in fact have a garden or farm, and they do in fact feed many people in that Lithonia, Decatur area and people that are underserved and such like that. I would love to come back and say, hey, shout outs to New Birth and my Morehouse brother, Jamal Bryant. I would gladly give them props and kudos, because I don't want to just disparage people, especially when they have such an opportunity to be insight or be light rather for their community. The problem is I don't believe that they do that. I'm sorry. Now, I'm open to being wrong. I don't believe that they do, though. And if you find that he did address it from the pulpit, please let me know. I will gladly analyze it. This is what I'm talking about. And this is what many people have said. Like, this is disqualified on multiple levels. And if you think, Jason, you're just being a little bit harsh, Jason, you're just being a little bit much, calling him disqualified, go watch that whole video. Watch the whole interview from the Cool Saw Wars podcast. Go watch that whole thing.
But we don't say anything because a lot of black churches are white evangelicals in drag.
You watch that whole thing and you get back to me. I will gladly check you out. Email me if you feel like, oh no, Jason, he's as solid as a gate. He talks about his calling. He talks about the fact that he was married before. He talks about sex toys.
Is that the black church has exposed that they don't know how to support what they don't lead. And so what the church has to do is really repackage itself.
He talks about interacting with other women. He talks about a lot of stuff.
So now I can go to church and I ain't got to worry about being judged by what I got on.
Right.
Now I can go to church and you ain't going to judge me because of my tattoos, because of my piercings, or because I have a same-sex love.
You go watch that and you tell me if you're a pastor, but just you watch it yourself and you tell me, would you be okay with your pastor talking about sex toys?
For me to tell 16-year-olds to be celibate is one thing. A 37-year-old who's used to getting some, I need a different kind of gospel.
Yeah.
I need a different kind of gospel.
Yeah.
I need a different kind of gospel.
Yeah.
So the church ain't telling me nothing about sex toys.
Would you be okay with your pastor saying there's another gospel for teenagers than there is for young professionals? Would you be okay with that? With your pastor saying he wasn't called by God, he was called by a comedian in the backstage who came up to him and said, "You better be preaching." You tell me. You tell me if you would be okay, comfortable, and green light that type of behavior, because I wouldn't. No way at all. So I just thought that was fun. I appreciate y'all so much. Man, I did not interact with the comments even remotely like I had intended to. So let's just shoot through here real quick. I appreciate y'all putting up with me on this afternoon. Quick live here. Dan Mahler said, yeah, man, how embarrassing. I agree. Q said, hey, I cringe every time the news says that these people are pastors and Christians. I agree. And they said it a lot in that interview on that Fox News one. Chic and Grease says, the Missionary Baptist Church of Puff Puff Pass Minister. I love it. Ministries. I got what you're doing there. The force is not strong with this one. Yeah, he's trying. I mean, he's trying to pull that Jedi mind trick on you for sure. Wolf in sheep's clothing. I don't even think he's even faking anymore, though. That's the thing. I just think he's just outright wilding out. I'm sorry. Yes, as Rick said, that full interview was outrageous. It was. I have no idea how that thing got that far afield without anybody calling it out. Cheech and Chong are the elders of his church, where Snoop Dogg is the overseer. See, there you go. I had no idea what happened with the audio there. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, sorry about the audio there. All right. Susie Q's in the building. Good to see you, friend. All right. Anything else I missed? Yes. You started plugging your DWC. That's what you get for pretending to be the Black Pope. I am the Black Pope. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I am. All right. They smoking is Good Friday. I mean, well, it is Friday. So, hey, I mean, there we go. It is Friday. But yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. I will leave the link to the Erica Campbell video as well as the Cool Star Wars podcast, as well as my Jamal Bryant. It seems like I'm going to add some more to it now. The Jamal Bryant playlist down below, so you can check out what is all there, and feel free to add your comments as well. What have we got here toward the end of this? All right, so Kato said, I didn't say weed. I said they stay off the weed. Oh, gotcha. That's how we're going to do it? Gotcha. Yes, with contradictions, that is. Absolutely. All right. What's going on? Gospel Center Podcast. Good to see you, friend. Good to see you. But yeah, I just thought that was something fun to talk about tonight. And again, I think it only goes to add to the disqualification of Jamal Bryant. I mean, again, Brother Bryant has gone above and beyond, and brother in flesh only, brother in flesh. But he's gone above and beyond to prove, like, I'm not qualified to be a pastor. And to go back and try to revise history and say, oh, well, this is what I said. No, you didn't say that, man. And again, can you imagine if he had said that, hey, we have a community garden and we have a farm, because he said farm. So that's much more than a garden. So he said we have a farm and we fed 1 million people from our farm. Can you imagine if he had said that versus this clownery about, well, we probably wouldn't even be talking about it. It probably wouldn't have got any shine if he had said that. However, what really stood out is that he didn't say that. What do you have to be going through that you're so engrossed that you didn't mention a farm where you fed 1 million people during the pandemic? And so, and by the way, let me even zero that in even more. He said during the pandemic. So the pandemic here in Georgia, I'm sorry, the pandemic was about 7 months. We were not shut down long at all. We really weren't shut down. I really want to say toward the end of the summer, we was ready. We was wide open. However, that's 7 months. So if he fed 1 million people in 7 months from February, I think we literally shut down the beginning of March. And I think everybody in Georgia was saying, we're done with this by September. We're done. So that's about 7 months. So in 7 months, you fed 1 million people? Bro, that's more than a cruise ship, my man. That's a lot of folk. I'm just saying. That's a lot of people, man. That's more than a cruise ship, dude. That's like a cruise ship a day. If a cruise ship can hold 7,000 people, guests and staff, and you can feed them all. I mean, that's a lot of folk. But you didn't mention that though. You mentioned cannabis. Again, I'm not saying he didn't feed them. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying that he didn't do it. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that, man, it sure slipped your mind. It sure did not seem to be front and center in your mind that we just fed 1 million people in 7 months. I'll be gracious. 1 million people in 10 months. That's 100,000 people a month. My man, that's a lot of people. 100,000 people, bro. What is that? 10,000 a day? That's like 13,000 people a day that you're feeding. And you didn't mention that? Okay, Jamal. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Shout out to my friend Eric Smith. Happy New Year to you, my brother. Oh, yes, a double-minded foolishness, James 1:8. Lying like his father, the devil, John 8:44. False teacher and preacher. Thank you so much. He's always going to bring that. You're always going to bring that good Bible. Thank you so much, Eric. Matter of fact, Eric, I want you to listen to that Erica Campbell video as well and give some commentary. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on that, on his biblical response, because he mentions 2 verses out of context, and I would love to hear what you say about that. That one beats. I'm sorry. I don't even think he did a quarter of it, truth be told. Now, maybe he's going to say, like, you know, they bought food for him or they had a food pantry. I don't know. But I know what I do know is that what he said did not jive, because it sounded like he was saying they fed 1 million people from the farm. If you fed 1 million people, again, that's like 13,000 people a day for 10 months. That's a lot of people. And it's on the weekends, by the way. That's a lot of folk, man. Really? You fed 13,000 people a day from your farm. And you didn't mention that, but you mentioned to Rashawn that you wanted to grow weed. And you told, by the way, and he said it to his deacon. So it wasn't like he said, you know, this is something I was just ruminating on. Like, man, what if we just grew cannabis? Like, everybody does it. Everybody has crazy ideas. All of us do. I've had 35 of them since I've been sitting here. So we all have crazy ideas, but we just don't talk about them. We don't do anything with them. And we for sure don't tell our deacons, our diaconate, hey, I'm thinking about growing weed. Like, come on, man. Again, that's all I'm saying. I think he's trying to revise his history and try to get around it, and thinks that by going on the Erica Campbell show, because again, I don't believe she knows everything. I'm sorry. I don't believe that she knew all the ins and outs of what he said. I think they just heard like Jamal Bryant. I mean, it was on the news, for crying out loud. Jamal Bryant said he's going to grow cannabis. Let's talk about it. And that's it. And just let him revise history from there. But whew, that was craziness, man. That was so embarrassing. When this came across my radar today, I said, you have got to be kidding me. This dude is not trying to revise history, and giving a little silent shout out to your guy who told him to look at Google, my friend. Where's that short? Let me find that short real quick so I can pat myself on the back. Because I put a short out saying that you cannot do this. And I'll put it in the description as well.
I'm looking for people that smell like weeds. No, really. New Birth is the largest land-owning black church in America. Wow. And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis? I'll be able to bring in black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming.
Oh my God.
I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem. This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, black boy in Bankhead, said, they growing weed at the church, where do I join?
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him.
Yeah, I mean, that would take a lot of tithe money, man. Like, I don't understand. I'm sorry. That right there, and I didn't intend the 1 million people to be the big linchpin for me, but that's a lot of people, man. That is a lot of folk. And I'm sorry. I don't know, Mr. Bryant. I might need to see some receipts, see some grocery bags or something. I might need to see some proof and evidence to that, because I'm sorry. So that does not ring. That does not sound like it's true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. To everybody, thank you so much for 2022. We had so much fun. And I'm looking forward to having a great time with you guys and girls during 2023. So please make sure you check out what we're doing here. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. And if you need your indulgence because somebody calls you racist, make sure you go to dearwokechristian.com, get your crypto indulgence. Let them know that the Black Pope has already absolved you of all of your white guilt, all of your racism, and you don't have to carry and worry about any of that foolishness. I thank y'all so much. And I'm looking forward to doing this again real soon. So everybody, until next time, grace and peace. Take care.